Soldiers slash veterans of Reddit, what is something they don't tell you about the military? It's made up of the gayest straight dudes and the straightest gay dudes you've ever met. My squad leader came knocking on my door once wearing nothing but a gas mask and boots saying, "Luke, I'm your father." Totally nude and totally straight. That's not even gay. That's just a Tuesday. I went to high school in a heavily Navy town and we seriously had gay Tuesdays. Thank you for bringing that memory back. Good times. Wait. What? A great tradition on that day was a jumping 69. Two of the JROTC guys would face each other about 15 feet apart. One guy would run up and simultaneously jump and flip around, while the other guy grabbed him mid-air and helped turn him around. Thus their mouths and nether regions were both joined. I have this on video somewhere. I'm not joking. If you want to get a feel for what the military is like, do the following. Get very drunk until about 1 AM. Go to sleep. Wake up at 0530. If you did it right, you should still be slightly drunk. Put on shoes, shorts, and a t-shirt and go outside. Set a cell phone alarm for 25 minutes from now. Stand still with your arms behind your back until the alarm goes off. After that, go for a 5-mile run. Take a shower and get dressed in 10 minutes. Go outside and look at your front door for half an hour. Take everything you can out of your house. Put all of your stuff back in your house. Go outside and look at your front door for 10 minutes. Eat breakfast. You have had a good army morning. Oh, you forgot to shave. I can see that. Now that the sun is up. Guess who you get to hang out with this weekend? Me. We are good to go for a long run because you forgot to shave and because I don't know how to be with my family. This is the most accurate comparison I have ever read. Hell, I only did ROTC and this sounds pretty damn familiar. AFROTC field training though. I've had friends who did that, but I never commissioned, so I don't know much about it. For real. Base commander wants a formation at 7:30 for a run and informs all battalion commanders. Battalion commanders inform their company commanders to have their soldiers ready at 7 o'clock to make sure that absolutely no one is late. Company commanders instruct their platoon leaders to be in formation ready for the run at 6:45. Platoon leaders, wanting to be sure that their soldiers are ready in plenty of time, tell their platoon sergeants to have their people in formation at 6:30. Squad leaders get these instructions from the platoon sergeant and tell their soldiers to be standing in formation at 6:15. Soldiers get to formation at 6:15 and spend the next hour and 15 minutes standing in the same spot wondering about the choices they made in their lives. This is real. There's a saying in my army, rush to wait, wait to rush. I've waited a whole hour before thanks to this. Hurry up and wait, we call it in the UK. Hurry up and wait is what we say in Illinois too, at least. I've never heard rush to wait. Marines say this, can confirm. USAF, hurry up and wait. Same with the army. You will get yelled at for not knowing how to do something that you haven't been trained for yet. The highest ranking people aren't necessarily the best out there. They may just have managed to stay in a long time. You can't quit, and they'll only fire you if you do something criminal. All other bad behavior just results in punishment. Oh, you got promoted? Great. Now go clean something. Sleep will become more enjoyable than sex. You will travel the world. At least some of the worst parts of it. Anyway, most of the time you will travel to parts of the world that you had hoped to avoid visiting. Notably those parts where people actively want to kill you, whatever those might be for any given generation. Occasionally you will get to go to places like Germany or Japan, if you are into that, and really enjoy those times. Can confirm. Hit Germany and loved it, then deployed and hated lol. It amuses me that this hope to avoid visiting, notably those parts where people actively want to kill you, is directly followed by get to go to places like Germany or Japan and really enjoy those times. It really puts your statement of whatever those might be for any given generation into perspective. Can confirm. Last thing I remember was getting my orders to Germany. Came out of that blackout when I was just about to mention Japan, where my brother was stationed only a few years ago. He says it was one of the better time he had in the Marine Corps. If you're infantry, you'll go on month-long training exercises in the woods, eating only MREs. You'll get back on a Friday and go out with your buddies, where you all will proceed to clog the toilets of the bar with all of your nasty MRE bricks after a week in the field. I took an MRE leaning up against a tree. It stuck against the tree, a foot from the ground. It was there when we left the field 2 weeks later. It might still be there. Lower standards for romance with women. Way lower you'll cuddle with another man in a sleeping bag. And it won't be gay. I promise you'll do a lot of stupid but also some really fun shit. Speaking as an infantryman, we got to shoot a lot of guns and blow stuff up. There will be nasty women with 4 or 5 kids that live near the base who will throw themselves at you because they want to marry you and get free healthcare and housing. Don't do anything. Buy a car, drink, look for girls anywhere near a military base. It's all a scam designed to separate 18-year-olds from their money. Edited by adding more stuff. If I could bang car dealerships within 10 miles of the front gate of any military base. Almost, I would. Brazen thieves and cutthroats, all of them. I grew up near a fort. The fort commander, is that the right term? Dad was military, I wasn't. Straight up banned the entire fort from purchasing cars from a local dealer as the dealer was notorious for ripping off young kids with insane fees and crushing interest rates. The place went out business real quick. Warms my heart. Just wish that had happened more often. You get a military discount at Hot Topic. That's why it's the only place I get jeans. I spend way too much money on Sailor Moon crap there. I have a routine of every year. I wait for a solid sale. I get the 2 for whatever and use my discount. Each pair roughly lasts 6 months. Rinse, repeat. I usually only pay around 40 to 50. That gives me a boner. Your jeans last 6 months. Seriously, if my levy don't last 7 years I'm disappointed and was probably using power tools while drinking. I love my Levis. Maybe less with all the boners. There's a way wider range of jobs than most people realize. Everyone wants to be a sniper or drive a tank, but the military has way more regular support jobs than it has combat jobs. Most people work in hours, technical support, as mechanics, etc. Also the compensation is way better than people let on. I always tell people this, plus I don't think the civilian world is remotely aware of the concept of bar. Made $90k a year in San Francisco as an E6. I've a friend in the Navy whose salary isn't as high, but he gets stipends for a lot of that don't count as income. Basically he doesn't pay rent. So it works out that he makes way more than he claims to. Yeah, it was $90k allotted, but $42k taxed. Ridiculous. Just to clarify, $42k was taxable income reported to the eyes. I was taxed about $1,400 when I was an E4 in San Diego. The barracks were full, so they put me in a hotel, which meant I got $50 a day per diem to pay for food. I still ate on base for free. The hotel I was at had a free happy hour, so I saved another $50 a night on alcohol. Plus I didn't have to field day, which meant more time for drinking. Don't admit to any drug use to a recruiter. They can't prove it unless you have been busted or caught. I had a Navy recruiter just start chatting me up in the hallway at school once. I was 16 and they were recruiting in the lunchroom. He said, "When is the last time you smoked marijuana?" I said, "I've never smoked marijuana." And we proceeded to get into a full-on argument. I said, "I have asthma. I can't smoke anything. I've never even smoked a cigarette." And he said, "Don't tell the recruiter about your asthma. You told him you've never blazed, and he started arguing with you about it? What the hell? Kid, when was the last time you smoked?" Never, sir." "Sorry, you're not dank enough for our branch." Takes pamphlet out of your hand and puts it back in his coat pocket. Takes pamphlet from hands, proceeds to roll a joint, and blows the smoke into his face. Asthma, you say? Just how stupid everything really is. How unfathomably stupid some shit really is. Motor pool closeout? Let's get the entire platoon down D to spend 2 hours making sure every vehicle is lined up perfectly with the vehicle next to it, so that they will look good for when no one is around on the weekend to look at them. F***ing waste of time. End of the week formation is the final f*** the army will give you after another shitty week. Doesn't matter if you are a cherry private or SFC, you gotta go to formation Friday afternoon, so one SG, battery commander, and battalion commander can all take turns saying the same shit over the course of an hour or two, reminding you that drinking and driving, smoking weed, and beating your wife are all bad things. To piggyback on that last sentence, people will still go and do all that anyways even on the same day they were told not to, which is why they have to say it, so they can't be held liable. Source: I was in command, and I'm not getting relieved because some f***head can't do the right thing. The military is full of honorable people, but for every one of those there's also a clown. Just to be clear, I also cared deeply for my soldiers, and I'm proud to have served with each and every one of them. While these safety briefs protected my peers and me from liability, they were also heartfelt. My grandpa was in Korea, and he told of some f***ed up. He summed it all up by saying this: they tell you, in all those ads you see, that you'll see the world and say they are gonna make you strong and give you skills. They'll try and stir up some American pride in you, say that they'll give your life a purpose, just to get you to enlist. The only thing they'll never tell you about is the screams. You kill a man, and he don't die right away. He bleeds out, or collapses, wailing for help that'll never come, cause his mates are lying a few feet away. It's why I quit. My grandfather never talked about his time in the Marines. He was deployed twice to Korea, and is a part of the chosen few. He'll tell a little funny story here and there about pot shots, to make people dance and shit, or Tabasco, but he never really ever said what he did. Then again, he was demolition, couldn't talk about it. Same with mine. He served 2 tours in Vietnam at the height of the war, and his MOs was radio/communications related. I remember he's really only talked about what he actually saw maybe once or twice in the 20 years I've been alive. He is really proud of his Purple Heart though. I only found out my dad, also a Vietnam vet, has a Purple Heart because I stumbled across a box in the attic with all his military medals and pins in it. He never talked about it much. I didn't know my grandfather was offered the position of Brigadier General until I heard about it at his funeral. All he ever spoke of the war was that he hated curry and tigers.